every algorithm of data science, okay, the objective is to minimize the error as much as possible. Okay, so first we have to create a Google Drive, then we have to just place the Jupyter notebook inside this folder. Okay, and it says that download the data set in the same folder using the link given at the top of the notebook. G drive. Okay, I can see my drive and all the files which are there in my drive. Now I am able to see here. Okay, so this is the step of mounting to Google Drive. Okay, now just again a bit of theory of GANs, and then basically we'll proceed for the implementation of the things. Okay, so here we have seen that generator and discriminator both play the adversarial game. Okay, basically they will try to conflict each other. Generator will try to produce the fake images and discriminator will judge whether it is fake or real. So what happens is there are two networks. So in the data science, what happens, every network, okay, when we say network, so every network is trained and those are basically assessed based on the losses. Okay, I mean, when we say loss is nothing but the errors they are producing. So in every algorithm of data science, okay, the objective is to minimize the error as much as possible. Okay, and that error, okay, so there are loss function associated with it, and we basically assess or quantify how much is the value of loss function, or basically in other words, how much is the error, okay, in these networks. If the error is as small as possible, then we will say that okay, these networks are performing well. If the errors are not, basically if the errors are quite high, then we will say that okay, this is not trained properly, we need to again train it. Okay, so it says that GANs use two loss functions and therefore two optimizers. Okay, so optimizers are the basically optimizers are used to shrink the value of the error. Basically they do some transformation in the data while training, so that basically our errors are reducing. Okay, so errors are nothing but how much is the difference between real data and fake data. Okay, in very short example I can say this. So GANs use two loss function and therefore two optimizers. So basically there are two networks, so there will be two loss functions and two optimizers as well, one for generator network and one for discriminator. Okay, and they both use binary cross entropy as a loss function. So when we say loss function, so they both use this binary. So this is the name of loss function. So generally it use this. Okay, so basically you can see the flow. So first of all, our image is going through a network. Okay, G is the generative network. Okay, or generator I can say. So first of all, Z is nothing but a image, so it will just go to generator. Generator will generate some data. So if you see this ZZ is just a fake data produced. Okay, what generator has transformed. Then this discriminator, this green, basically you can see this D network. Okay, this is a discriminator network. This will assess, okay, whether it is fake or basically real. Okay, so if it sees that if it is fake, then it will see, then py is nothing but it will say basically how much is the probability of being real. So okay, if it says that okay, no, it's fake, then basically again it will go for training, but if it is real, then it will be generated. So this is how things flow in GANs. Okay, so this was a flow about GANs. So anyone is having any questions? Okay, thanks a lot, Mehtaj. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll just proceed for the implementation part. Before that, just a brief overview of PyTorch. What exactly is PyTorch? Since the topic says that we'll be using PyTorch to implement the entire thing, just a brief overview of PyTorch. So what is PyTorch? So PyTorch is an open source machine learning library for Python that is primarily used for building deep neural network. Okay, so as I said, basically there are lots of applications in data science and there are different libraries as well. Like you might have heard about NumPy, Pandas. So they have their own advantages and disadvantages and their own uses. So PyTorch is specifically designed for deep learning model development part. Okay, so since we are using neural network, it's a part of deep learning and we'll be using PyTorch for implementation. Okay, so it says that it was developed by Facebook's artificial intelligence research team and was released in October 2016. Okay, so basically GANs were introduced in 2014 and PyTorch was introduced in 2016. So this is how things are flowing now. So it says that PyTorch provides the tensor computations like NumPy. So, I mean, as you basically deep dive into data science, you learn the other topics, you will be definitely quite familiar with this topic NumPy. Okay, NumPy is quite useful. So, similarly, whenever we are doing any implementation of deep learning, then PyTorch will be used. Okay, most of the time, and with strong GPU acceleration. Okay, so when we say GPU acceleration, most of the laptops which we are having, those are right now are having CPU access. Okay, basically CPU machines. Some of you might be having GPU enabled machines as well, but mostly those are CPU. So when we say about GPU acceleration, so basically the advantage is the model will be trained fast, okay, as compared to usual or standard CPU machines. And it says that an automatic differentiation for building the training neural network. Okay, then it says that PyTorch supports dynamic computation graph, meaning the computation graph is built on the fly as the operations are executed, which allows for greater flexibility and ease of use. Okay, to other deep learning libraries. So there are other libraries as well. Some of them are like Keras. Keras is a library. Okay, but as compared to Keras, PyTorch has some advantages. Like, I mean, the computations are done on the fly. Okay, so these are a couple of advantages of PyTorch. Okay, I'll just show you the flow this entire project can be implemented, and later on you can try on your own. Okay, it's not very difficult. Okay, so let me just show that. Is my screen visible to everyone? Are you able to see my screen? Just confirm and then we'll start. Okay, thanks Gaurav for confirmation here. So basically what I have done, okay, similar steps you have to perform. So in Google Drive, okay, why I have suggested Google Drive? Because I mean, I believe that most of you might be having access to Google Drive. So in Google Drive, I have just created a folder. You can also create and name it anything. Okay, so I have just created a folder called as Career Ninja. Inside that, I have created a folder, okay, for today's project. Okay, so inside this folder, okay, I have just a minute. Okay, fine. So what I'll do is, first of all, you have to download, right? So in my desktop, there is a folder. Okay, in this folder, I am having this folder of building a generative AI model. Inside this, I have this code. Okay, so this just a minute. Okay, so there is a Jupyter source file. You all can see this file will be shared with you. Okay, after the session, this file will be shared with you, and then you can implement. So what I'll do is, in my Google Drive, first of all, I have just created a folder. Here I will try to upload the same. Okay, so the same steps are mentioned in PPTs, which will be shared to you. So first of all, it's create a folder in Google Drive. Okay, and then place the Jupyter notebook inside the folder. So I have already created this folder in Google Drive. Here I will just upload. Okay, upload this code. So if you see, if I just go to that particular file, yeah, so this was my folder in my local system, and this is the Jupyter file. Okay, so if you can see the type, it says a Jupyter source file. Okay, and if I just show you the properties of this file, this will be having extension .ipynb. If you just see carefully here, it says the extension is .ipynb. So this ipynb extension is for Jupyter notebook file. Okay, so I'll just upload this in Google Drive. Okay, so right now if you see, it is uploading. Okay, so this was first two steps. So first we have to create in Google Drive, then we have to just place the Jupyter notebook inside this folder. Okay, and it says that download the data set in the same folder using the link given at the top of the notebook. So this notebook which I have just pasted here, or maybe uploaded, you can open it in Google Colab. So Google Colab is a service provided by Google Drive. Okay, where we can run the Python codes. And the best advantage of this entire thing is it uses its own computation power, maybe RAM and all. So our system is not affected. Whenever we are using Google Colab, our system is not impacted. So that's the best. So basically, it's a cloud platform for implementing the Python code. So how I'll be able to run this in Google Colab? I just have to do right click on this. Okay, then there is option open with. Okay, so when you just select or hover around the open with section, so you can see an option is coming as Google Collaboratory. If for couple of you, if Google Collaboratory is not coming, then you can just go to this connect more apps. In those options you will be able to see Google Collaboratory. Okay, so right now if you see, it says Google Collaboratory and the file is loading. Okay, now it's, I mean, this is how it will open in your systems. Okay, in your Google Drive system. So if you see, first at the top the name is given of the file, then at the top itself I have placed the link for downloading the data. Okay, so it says that you can download this data by clicking here. So if you just click here, the data which will be using for training the images will, I mean, you will directly have the access to download that. So what you can do, if you see, the data set is named as process syllabus small. Okay, so this is a zip file. Okay, this is a zip file. Let's say I'm downloading on desktop, or basically in desktop I have that folder, right? Just here only I will set download this basically zip file. Okay, so if you can see right now it's running. Okay, so it's just a 236 MB file, so which is just downloading. So it's a zip file which you have to download and click, basically link will be shared here. Okay, so meanwhile let me just perform other steps. Okay, since it's downloading, I'll just basically perform other steps as well. So what happens is, you all having the Google Drive, right? And it provides basically 15 GB of data, but right now it says that connecting to a runtime to enable file browsing. So by default you will not be having access to your Google Drive. Okay, all the files present in Google Drive. So what we have to do, there is a step of mounting the Google Drive storage. Okay, so for that this code is used from google.collab import drive. So basically these are the Python libraries. So as you just try to practice it for more and more, you will be familiar with these libraries. Okay, so what we have to do, you just have to write from google.collab import drive, and then you just have to write drive.mount, and this thing you have to write content G drive. So what it will do, for running this cell, okay, you can just click on this play button kind of thing. Okay, so if you just click here, okay, you can see the code is starting to run. Okay, so it is under process. What happens is, when we are mounting to Google Drive, it will ask for the connect to Google Drive. Okay, so when I just click on this connect to Google Drive, okay, it will ask for the account with which we want to connect this entire notebook. So I am having this as my primary account, so I'll just select this. Okay, and then it will ask for certain permissions, okay, for storage and all. So you just have to click on allow. Okay, so it is in process right now. Right now you can see on the left hand side only sample data is coming, but later once this step is finished, then you will be able to see G drive as well. Okay, so the drive is mounted and you can see in the G drive. Okay, I can see my drive and all the files which are there in my drive. Now I am able to see here. Okay, so this is the step of mounting to Google Drive. Okay, then basically I have to just go to that directory where my code is basically stored. Okay, so right now I'm having this CN, right? So basically what I'll do is, this is my zip file. Okay, this is my zip file which is basically downloaded. Okay, in this path, right? This is my desktop folder. Okay, where I have just downloaded this zip file data set. Just for the implement, I just wanted to show that, but before that I have already created a folder called as CN, where I have basically put all those images. Okay, so what I'll do is, this is the path. Okay, this face generation, if you just see, if you are able to see this folder in my Google Drive, CN, and then inside that CN, this is a folder face generation using GANs master. This is my folder where I have my code as well, and also the images. Okay, so similarly you can also create a folder in which you will be having image, all the images data and the code as well. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just copy the path of this folder. Okay, so there are three dots, okay, just to the right of this folder. So I'll just click on this and I'll select this option, copy path. Okay, so path is copied. So if I just show you and paste it here, okay, using Control V, this is the path on which I have already written this code. So in your case, it may change. So what we have to do, you just have to paste that path here. Okay, let me just paste that, and will change the base directory to this particular folder. Okay, so you just have to paste it here. Okay, you just have to paste it here, and then your primary directory will change particular path. After that, what we'll do here, basically we are just unzipping file. So basically that was a zip file. Okay, and most of you might be familiar with what is zip file. So first of all, we just have to extract all those images. So if you just basically run this particular code, okay, you can see this is basically extracting all those images. Okay, so same thing will happen with your case as well. Just you have to remember one fact: the code and the data set has to be in the one folder. You can just name the other, name the folder differently, but try to just make sure that the code and this particular data set which we downloaded, those are in same folder. Okay, and the link for downloading that data set is just available here, just at the top of the notebook. Okay, so meanwhile it's just extracting. Let me